Hello and welcome back. Alright, so today we're on the webcam recording because I have a model to build. Yes, it fits in this box. It came in this completely nondescript, unlabeled box. Don't ask me why a company would do this. And here's my concern. This is a 6-hour stream, and this is the entire instructions. So we'll see how long this takes. But, whenever it's done, I will decide what we're doing next. Let's see if I can get the music started. Alright. These are in labeled bags with numbers on them. Oh, they gave me tools. That's nice. Okay. Here I was thinking that they wouldn't be so kind. Alright then. And yes, I do see you're there. Welcome in, Aria. So these bags are all numbered, and the number on the bag is the order that I'm supposed to use it. Each step is one bag. It doesn't help the stuff that I'm working on is so tiny, but that's step one. There we go. That's step 2. That's step 3. That was the entire step 4. There are some types of nuts that will have some, I think it's silicone inside of them, so that they hold in place after you tighten them down. They're really hard to get the screw into. And those are called locking nuts, and that's exactly what these tiny ones are. Because it's so small, I could barely even see the silicone. So, I was like, why is it not going in? Do I have it misaligned? No, I don't. It's just a locking nut. They're not labeled on there, except with a couple of letters that just say this is the standard part type. Like, I've seen a bunch of M3x3s, right? M3 is a screw type. And that's clearly... it's generally used for computer parts, but that's clearly what they're using here for the majority of the parts. And when I say it's used for computer parts, I don't mean just any computer parts. I generally see it for memory cards, like the solid state drive stuff. I don't see it for hardly anything else. My ducky pad went together with M3 screws. It's a macro pad, but I didn't realize I would have to deal with these things. They're not the smallest screws in the world. Those are the ones that they use for eyeglasses, but they are indeed quite small. But the fact that it's in 3 screws means that I can then move these things around, these little gold pieces around afterwards, for step 5, and not worry about them off because they'll be locking nuts there. Because for all the other stuff, I was trying to adjust the exact angles of things, and it was just undoing the screw. Alright, so that was it for step 5. It says, note in steps 6, 7, 8, and 9, be sure to tighten the screws, clamp the nuts with pliers, and then tighten the screws with force. Oh boy. Clock notes are amazing unless you want to fasten something fast pedal is correct. You got PS Remote Play to work, was where either Sony or Microsoft had broken something since you couldn't get the FFD. You need to install Windows Media Player. That is a weird requirement, but hey, at least you got it to work. Finally finished step 7. Alright, next. Okay. Debate that. That's it for step 9, finally. Okay. So from here on, it should be easier. I have a throne wish list, but it's hard to find things on Throne. All the legs done. Woo! Hello, I'm Dragon Rider Luke. I'm a Christian streamer, and I'm always up for a friendly chat about my faith. I also think that it's important that people read or hear the Word of God frequently, so the next 5 minutes or so will be a chapter from the Bible. 2 Kings 10. Now Ahab had 70 sons in Samaria. So Jehu wrote letters and sent them to Samaria, to the rulers of the city, to the elders, and to the guardians of the sons of Ahab, saying, Now then, as soon as this letter comes to you, seeing your master's sons are with you, and there are with you chariots and horses, fortified cities also, and weapons, select the best and fittest of your master's sons, and set him on his father's throne, and fight for your master's house. But they were exceedingly afraid, and said, Behold, 2 kings could not stand before him. How then can we stand? So he who was over the palace, and he who was over the city, together with the elders and the guardians, sent to Jehu, saying, We are your servants, and we will do all that you tell us. We will not make anyone king. Do whatever is good in your eyes. Then he wrote to them a second letter, saying, If you are on my side, and if you are ready to obey me, take the heads of your master's sons, and come to me at Jezreel tomorrow at this time. Now the king's sons, 70 persons, were with the great men of the city, who were bringing them up. And as soon as the letter came to them, they took the king's sons and slaughtered them, 70 persons, and put their heads in baskets and sent them to him at Jezreel. When the messenger came and told him, They have brought the heads of the king's sons, he said, Lay them in 2 heaps at the entrance of the gate until the morning. And in the morning, when he went out, he stood and said to all the people, You are innocent. It was I who conspired against my master and killed him. But who struck down all these? Know then that there shall fall to the earth nothing of the word of the Lord, which the Lord spoke concerning the house of Ahab, for the Lord has done what he said by his servant Elijah. So Jehu struck down all who remained of the house of Ahab in Jezreel, all his great men and his close friends and his priests, until he left him none remaining. Then he set out and went to Samaria. On the way, when he was at Beth Eked of the shepherds, Jehu met the relatives of Ahaziah king of Judah, and he said, Who are you? And they answered, We are the relatives of Ahaziah, and we came down to visit the royal princes and the sons of the queen mother. He said, Take them alive. And they took them alive and slaughtered them at the pit of Beth Eked, 42 persons, and he spared none of them. And when he departed from there, he met Jehonadab the son of Rechab coming to meet him. And he greeted him and said to him, Is your heart true to my heart as mine is to yours? And Jehonadab answered, It is. Jehu said, If it is, give me your hand. So he gave him his hand. And Jehu took him up with him into the chariot. And he said, Come with me, and see my zeal for the Lord. So he had him ride in his chariot. And when he came to Samaria, he struck down all who remained to Ahab in Samaria, till he had wiped them out, according to the word of the Lord that he spoke to Elijah. Then Jehu assembled all the people and said to them, Ahab served Baal a little, but Jehu will serve him much. Therefore call to me all the prophets of Baal, all his worshippers and all his priests. Let none be missing, for I have a great sacrifice to offer to Baal. Whoever is missing shall not live. But Jehu did it with cunning in order to destroy the worshippers of Baal. And Jehu ordered, Sanctify a solemn assembly for Baal. So they proclaimed it. And Jehu sent throughout all Israel, and all the worshippers of Baal came, so that there was not a man left who did not come. And they entered the house of Baal, and the house of Baal was filled from one end to the other. He said to him who was in charge of the wardrobe, Bring out the vestments for all the worshippers of Baal. So he brought out the vestments for them. Then Jehu went into the house of Baal with Jehonadab the son of Rechab, and he said to the worshippers of Baal, Search and see that there is no servant of the Lord here among you, but only the worshippers of Baal. And they went in to offer sacrifices and burnt offerings. Now Jehu had stationed 80 men outside and said, The man who allows any of those whom I give into your hands to escape shall forfeit his life. So as soon as he made as soon as he had made an end of offering the burnt offering, Jehu said to the guard and to the officers, Go in and strike them down, let not a man escape. So when they put them to the sword, the guard and the officers cast them out, and went into the inner room of the house of Baal, and they brought out the pillar that was in the house of Baal and burned it. They demolished the pillar of Baal, and demolished the house of Baal, and made it a latrine to this day. Thus Jehu wiped out Baal from Israel, but Jehu did not turn aside from the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, which he made Israel to sin, that is, the golden calves that were in Bethel and in Dan. The Lord said to Jehu, Because you have done well in carrying out what is right in my eyes, and have done to the house of Ahab according to all that was in my heart, your sons to the 4th generation shall sit on the throne of Israel. But Jehu was not careful to walk in the law of the Lord, the God of Israel, with all his heart. He did not turn from the sins of Jeroboam, which he made Israel to sin. In those days the Lord began to cut off parts of Israel. Hazael defeated them throughout the territory of Israel, from the Jordan eastward, all the land of Gilead, the Gadites, and the Reubenites, and the Manassites, from Aroer, which is by the valley of the Anon, that is, Gilead and Bashan. Now the rest of the acts of Jehu, and all that he did, and all his might, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? So Jehu slept with his fathers, and they buried him in Samaria, and Jehoahaz his son reigned in his place. The time that Jehu reigned over Israel and Samaria was 28 years. May God bless the reading of his word. Alright, that's step 11.
Go.
Oh boy. 13 is adding the rest of the legs. Okay. And that is step 13. 14 done. I think that's in place. Okay. Now it looks like the final picture. Okay. I don't know what this is, but that's step 16. Okay. Well, I'm going to hope this holds it in place. Alright. Step 18. I'm going to call that aligned enough. Okay, I think I finished step 18. 19. So there you go. step 19. Oh wow, there's a spring in this thing, huh? Okay. That roughly matches what it looks like. There's actually a specific distance this is supposed to be, and I'll be able to find out real fast here. That. 2. was easy enough. That's 23. I'll just have to go with the policy of don't nudge it. Okay. Because it is not staying. Alright then. 26. Almost done. You know what step 27 is? It's the stand. All right. There that is. The entire model is done. Woo! The Golden Horn King. My webcam isn't particularly set up to capture it, but I think it looks good. I'll go ahead and turn off the light in my room. It'll make things darker, but this is a very shiny model, so... There it is. The U-Gear stuff all moves, but this doesn't. But that's okay. I think this is pretty cool. All right, so that's gonna be it for today. It's 2:30. It's a little late to start up something when I'm supposed to end at 3. I mean, the wings, they're not fixed in place like solidly, but I don't. It's not like it's not like they have moving parts associated. It's just that the screws aren't super tight. That's all. But yeah, like I said, it's a little late to start something new, so that's gonna be it for today. So I'm going to... Oh yeah, they cannot close, I can tell you that one. There's stuff in the way. I can't close the wings. Thanks for hanging out the whole time, Aro. Alright, so yeah, that'll be it for today. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.